Hey everybody, Dr. Shook here. This is actually my third video. I wanted to cover a few of the ways that inflammation affects your thyroid chemistry and can cause you to feel like you're hypothyroid still, even though labs might look normal, right? So inflammation is a very common way that we see this occur. And so today, I've covered two different reasons. Inflammation can disrupt actually the hormonal signaling within the brain. Okay, so you can look back at a video where I talk about the hypothalamus, a central structure in the brain, how it is affected, as well as the pituitary gland, which makes TSH. That's what your doctor usually checks. How that whole hormonal signaling that signals the thyroid to make thyroid hormone can be disrupted with inflammation. And then I talked about how there can be problems with conversion of high levels of inflammation can cause problems with converting T4 to T3 and how that process mainly occurs in the liver. And then today what I want to talk about is I want to talk about inflammation and how inflammation can decrease the proteomic response to your thyroid hormone. And what does that mean? Proteomic response means the cellular response. So whenever your thyroid hormone, to get the benefit from your thyroid hormone, what it has to do is it goes into the cell and it goes into and attaches to the DNA, like your actual DNA. Thyroid hormone attaches to that DNA and stimulates what they call a proteomic response. That is a cellular response where the cell metabolism is driven. It builds proteins. It drives the cellular engine. Okay, so that proteomic response is really, really important. That's what we need. That helps to set your basal metabolic rate or your rate of metabolism, right? Which so many people are interested. So many of my patients and distance consulting clients are have so much difficulty with weight loss and with appropriate metabolic rate, and they're always cold. They have cold hands and they have these problems with blood flow, and there's just so many issues where on a cellular level, they're just not generating this energy. They don't have this energy production. So to have this proteomic response, you want to have low inflammation levels. If your inflammation levels are high, your T3, for example, which is the hormone we're talking about, right, it will still attach to the receptor, the little docking station on the DNA, but it doesn't have the same stimulatory effect because the inflammatory chemistry dampens or decreases the ability of the cell to respond to your T3. Okay, really, really important. So you can see we just talked about three reasons over the past two videos or so that I published, where I talked about inflammation and how it has this profound impact upon your entire physiology. So whenever I look at someone's health, I want to say, I don't want to just look at your symptoms. It's important to me. Yeah, your symptoms are important. Your previous diagnoses are important. What we're working with that's important and relevant. But what you want to do is I try to look at your foundational chemistry first. So I have a list of priorities, right? I want to know if you're autoimmune. If you're autoimmune, I want to know what are the drivers to your autoimmunity. So I want to know, are there partial food proteins driving inflammation? I want to know, do you have environmental chemical reactivity? Because we know that can drive autoimmunity. Do you have chronic infections? Are you under a tremendous amount of stress, physical, mental, or chemical stresses, which can all trigger a stress response and drive up cortisol, which has all these profound impacts upon your barrier systems, like your gut wall, which can promote leaky gut or intestinal permeability. Your blood-brain barrier can be compromised. So I want to know, prioritize. Let's look at what chemistry, if disrupted, is going to have a profound impact upon other systems. And then let's look at that first, so that we can say, you know what, is this okay or not? And if this is not okay, then it's really important that we investigate why it's not okay, because if we change that foundational chemistry first, then we might have the greatest opportunity to make the biggest difference in your life by changing the most, very, very important things first. I hope that makes sense, right? Just focus on the foundational chemistry. If you change that, you might see changes in blood sugar and changes in your sex and your estrogens and testosterones and all your hormones. We see that there's stuff that's it's very foundational. So I look at inflammation, then I look at autoimmunity, then inflammation, then I look at red blood cells and blood sugar, and then I look at liver function and gut function and thyroid physiology. And these are all these priorities in ways that I look at your body. And sometimes things jump around. It's a framework. It's not set in stone, like that's how we're going to do it or how it should be done. But that gives us an idea of how to prioritize and make sense of really complicated cases sometimes. And I just want to share that with you guys because inflammation is a huge problem, and we have to have a way to help people figure out, like, really really best determine what's driving the process. And it's not perfect, and I'm not perfect, but I do my best to try to help people investigate this. And I want to teach you guys because you got to become your own advocates, right? You've got to take information and really learn this stuff the best that you can. I mean, I don't expect you to be perfect, but the more you know, the more you can help yourself. And since a lot of your doctors don't understand this stuff, and it's not that they're not bad people, it's just they're not exposed to this model. They're good people. They're trying to help you. Even if they seem frustrated, even if they maybe don't have the best bedside manner sometimes, you got to understand they're under a tremendous amount of stress, and there's a lot of sick people, right? So we want to try to empower everyone. And if you have information, then you can help them with your management. You can help yourself, right? So that's the goal. Just try to improve everyone's understanding of what's going on, and try to just do one, improve your health one day at a time. That's all you can really do. So keep learning. If you have any questions, post them below. I really appreciate you guys coming here to learn more about your health. If you have any questions or you need anything, we will do everything that we can to help you out. But I hope you're learning a lot from my video series, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. So have a good day. Thanks.